kiddos. This is part of our research paper series of videos on choosing a topic. So this will give you some advice on choosing the topic that's right for you. There are three main types of research papers that you could do. There are a few others that aren't covered here, but they are informational, argumentative, and analytical. Informational describes a topic from a factual standpoint without emotion or opinion. So the country reports that you did in 6th grade were informational papers. They're the most basic type of research paper. Next we have an argumentative paper. An argumentative presents two sides of a controversial issue and presents facts from both sides, and then the author expresses opinion about which side they agree with. The research should be without emotion, though, and should be factual for both sides. It's similar to our persuasive essay that we did a little bit earlier in the year, but it can include a slight amount of opinion based on research. And the analytical paper is similar to an argumentative, as it presents two sides. However, it has absolutely no opinion in it at all, and the author selects a side based solely on the evidence presented. So argumentative and analytical are very, very similar. Mainly an argumentative shows a little bit more opinion, and that's roughly the main difference. So those are the three types of papers you could choose from. Informational is the easiest, argumentative slightly harder, analytical slightly harder. So as you're choosing topics, these are some questions you should ask yourself. Is it debatable? The topic should have two roughly equal and reasonable sides to the issue. Some issues, let's just say, is smoking, should people smoke? It's not really debatable because we have a mountain of evidence that shows that smoking is damaging to your health, and no one can argue that smoking is not damaging to your health. But you can debate on whether people should be allowed to smoke in public places or things like that, because those have two equal and reasonable sides to the issue. It needs to be plausible, meaning it's supported by evidence. So you can't do a research paper on the existence of unicorns because there's no evidence to make it plausible. However, I have seen some people do research on the existence of Bigfoot and the existence of aliens because there's some evidence that could make it plausible. Needs to be consequential, meaning the outcome of the resolution of the paper should be significant to the reader, the author, or society in general. It should be of personal interest. You're going to be spending a month doing research on this topic, so make sure it's of personal interest and that you can remain passionate about the topic throughout the process. And it helps if you have prior knowledge of the topic. So I have seen some people do a research paper without having any prior knowledge of the topic, but it's helpful if you already have some prior knowledge to help you direct your research. Your topic should be focused. This is for 7th grade a 4 to 6 and for 8th grade a 6 to 8 page paper. If an entire book is written on that topic, then the topic is way too broad. So the example that I give is, if you want to write a research paper on the Civil War, That is way too broad for a short research paper. If you want to write on the history of the Civil War, you're still way too broad. If you want to narrow it down to Gettysburg, we're still pretty broad for a short research paper. But then if we do the significance of Gettysburg to the Civil War, we've narrowed the topic down enough to focus it for a short paper. You should do plenty of preliminary research because it can help you determine if your topic is feasible and if there's enough out there for you to do. I have seen students in the past choose a topic that they thought was of interest to them without doing the necessary preliminary research, and halfway through their research paper they're struggling because they can't find enough sources and information to write their research paper. And then you should formulate a question that guides your research. So instead of saying my topic is the significance of Gettysburg to the Civil War, I should say something like, what was the significance of Gettysburg to the Civil War? And that question helps guide my research throughout the entire process. So those are some ideas you need, some information you need to help you choose a topic. Remember, you're going to be using this topic for an entire month, and actually 8th grade for longer than that if you include your speech. So you should choose very wisely, choose something that's going to be of interest to you and going to keep you motivated to keep working.